that I'm trying here. It's me, Diesel. I'm on ARK. I'm gonna try to do a build guide. You know, I've always been known in the survival type games that I play for building, and it's something that I kind of, I'll say, even take to an extreme. Like, I like to push the limits on it and see what I can accomplish with it and kind of create, if you will. So we're here on ARK, and I have the base already started. As you can see, the platform that we're going to be using. It looks rather large, but once you get everything on it, it's going to seem pretty small. It's 10 by 10, and I should have a notebook with me here, but I don't, because I actually want to be taking notes while I'm building it. Let me quick get on my broadcast so when people pop in, I can see the chat. Turn it down. Sound sounds good. It's perfect. The only thing is, I'm actually finishing up making some breakfast, so I couldn't wait to get started. I wanted to get going here. I'm kind of excited to do it, and I have everything to a point to where I didn't want to go any further without being on a broadcast here. So I'm just making some sausages that are almost done, and I'm going to throw some eggs in the pan, and I will quietly eat to myself on mute as I build some things, and I'm going to describe the way I'm building it and why I'm building it that way as I go. Just about ready for eggs. Anyway, so 10 by 10 is the structure you want to build here, and I'll just go over the supplies really quickly. You're going to want at least, probably more, 100 foundations. You're going to want 200 ceilings, or 150, give or take. And the reason I say that is because, you know what, I'm just going to say about 120 ceilings. Yeah, I believe it's, I can't remember how many walls. I'll have to, that's why I want to take notes while I go. And I decided to use a ladder and hatch frame to get down to the lower level from the upper level that's going to be there, because it just works better. It's not tight when you got stairs. It's all funky. So, and then a teleporter pad, what was it called? This guy, which we are actually going to place now as close to the middle as we possibly can. Zoom out a little bit more. Can't zoom out anymore. Okay, so if I go like this, I can find the middle pretty easily. It's about right there. So, and then I like to keep the generator next to it, just because it keeps it safe from anybody trying to do anything, you know, cheesy, if you know what I mean. If you know this game and PvP, you know that there's a lot of ways that you can make things a little easier for yourself. So you need to pick where you want your door to be. There's going to be 2 levels. You want an access to the bottom. I'm going to put this one just kind of in the middle right here. Let's get this sword out of our eyes. It's kind of a little bit much. And then it's going to be too high. I'm going to go all the way around. Just actually going to pull my sausage off the burner and let it kind of cook on the hot pan for a little bit while I finish this up, and then I'll be ready to make my eggs. Oh. So yeah, this is something new I'm trying. I'm not going to expect to take off right away, but I enjoy building things and, you know, kind of pushing the limits that I didn't really thought to believe inside the game by creating things outside the box. So, this is something I actually created on a PvP server we played. It was not official, and was more geared towards the higher end of things. And, well, kind of like I said, thinking outside the box. You gotta think, when people got 5,000 turrets, how am I gonna actually take care of this and not just get abolished? Of course. Like my PlayStation as it was before I put a new hard drive in it, defenses like that would simply crash me. I made bases so big that people would avoid them because it made them crash or lag. Okay, so that's complete all the way around. Let's get these turned on, just because, and I can put some lights up for when it gets dark. Thinking ahead a little bit, because if I got my gamma turned up, but I can't remember how dark it gets at this beach. If this is as dark as it gets, it's not too bad, but I'm imagining like a rainstorm or something, and it's really dark, and I don't like it. Alright, split those in half. I'll actually split that in half one more time. Wait, what? I did that wrong. Oh, I should be... Didn't I put... Oh, I see what I did there. I believe the perfect radius is about 4. And I'm going to actually have to end up shutting this back off, because it's going to get in the way of building, but I just want to make sure it's right about where I think it is. Whoa, got stuck there for a second. Alright, now we gotta put ceiling in. So, this way, that way, because I'm weird about it all facing the same way. Lag a little bit there. No, that is not correct. Excuse me. The whole point of this thing is, I realize I haven't explained that yet, it's going to keep out unwanted players. Oops. It's going to keep out unwanted players and dinos too. It's going to be completely protected from both. And how you design the turrets that are going to go around it, you know, is more geared towards what you're playing on. Alright. Now I need to go up here and place. Whoop. I need to place this down next because the way it works is this thing, and those walls can't be around the walls. It's got to be so far away from the walls. So you're gonna want to center it before. So that's not gonna work. Go a little closer to me. So that's as close as I can pull it to myself. Not what I wanted. It was centered. Unless I just center it, say, right here. And use this space as the access. Alright, well now that's done. We are going to be placing a lot of double door frames, 4 high. So that is almost, let's get out of here and see. That is almost perfect. Placed. But what you want is the force field to be completely going around the teleporter, and that's pretty much it. You might want a little bit of room to move around inside of there so you're protected from other players or whatever if you need to be, but you don't want it touching any of the guns that are going to be around the outside of this. So we're going to shrink that down to like 3.8. Let's see the doors. Yeah, let's go 3.6. That should still be doing the trick. Okay, that's perfect actually. So it's right around. Ooh. Yeah, it's right around the entirety of the teleporter. You may have to reposition it too, depending on where you place things, but I try to center it as much as I can. This makes for a better look too. Alright, so we're going to go shut that force field off. It's actually in our way at the moment. It's making quite a bit of noise as well. Go. Alright. And there's a reason why you want to do things in this order, because I've tried to do it in a different order and it doesn't work so well. Also, I will, if this does well, I will be showing ways to build this on, you know, maybe a bit of a hill or an incline or something. There are ways to deal with it and still get the same thing. It may take a few more resources to build what you need to get everything level and centered, kind of how you want, but a little bit of imagination and work goes pretty much as far as it can in this game. basic outline of what we're going to be building complete. And it'll just be mostly setting hatch frames and turrets and little details to make it as efficient as possible from here on out. I don't want to jinx myself, but I haven't placed anything in the wrong place so far, except for that one ceiling. There we go. Now we need the hatch frames. Whoa. Moving too fast. Come on. Perfect fit. I'm actually going to try and like this. At this point, it would almost be easier to do it with a tech suit. And I'm using the hatch frames to make a walkway for myself here. Once we get this set, there's going to be two levels the way that I build this, with a mixture of both tech and regular auto turrets. Heavies, obviously. You can use whatever you want, but if you want to really make sure that nothing's going to penetrate this, then that's the way to do it. So this is what we're left with here. It's basically a caged teleporter pad, and then it's got the you know, the tech force field around it, and you'll be able to add storage and stuff down there. As you can see, there's a lot of room to work with that I didn't use that can be utilized for pretty much whatever you can imagine, and it can be modified. This gives you a lot of room for whatever you want down here. And keep in mind the things around the outside, unless they're on this side, are probably not going to be protected by the force field, but there will be tons of guns around it. Alright, so what we want to do now is add hatch frames around the sides. And this is going to be for your guns. I'm thinking here. Okay, let's see what different levels we have to work with. Did I use all my... No. Okay. So here and here could work. Or do I want to go up one higher and give them plenty of room? Could go like this, and then I'm trying to leave lots of room for being able to reload and maneuver around, but still kind of keep the ceiling at about the same level. That doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna go with that. I'm still kind of building and off of this this creation I've made, so I'm trying to perfect the best way to build it. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to have to go around and put all them in one more row, but whatever. We'll get her done. Well, see, this is the problem with placing hatch frames. You run into this, and they're not synced up at the same level here. So there. No. What if I did it from this place? Sometimes when you're building, where you're standing at the angle is the most important part to getting it done efficiently and the desired product, which, if you're anything like me, is completely symmetrical if at all possible. Just because it's visually appealing to the eyes, and balance actually goes a long way in building. And if you are wondering, yes, I do tend to build in real life too, so maybe that's why I am. I like building this. Alright, so that's done. Now we can continue on. Let's get some more metal hatch frames. We're gonna need more. We don't need 100. So we'll just make 100. Alright, that's one way to do it. We got hatch frames for days. The reason that we're leaving the top open is there's a number of reasons actually. What I like to do at the top is, if I'm in a really PvP heavy area, or maybe just the server alone is PvP heavy, I also like to include Plant X, and I'll put it up there, or maybe I'll take the Plant X and put it around like the top or the lower level instead. I haven't quite decided which one I like best for what reason. I have to see it in action. And then that way they're also visually impaired as well as being damaged. So that really helps you have more of an advantage against anyone trying to, raid or destroy your teleporter pad and what's inside. Alright, that's for one row of guns. For this one, I'm just going to be doing heavies, and this will be heavies and I get too far away. Heavies and tech turrets, and the reason I like to choose tech turrets is because it pushes the hit target around. So the way I set it up usually is the heavies will be more for the dinos. There will be a few heavies set on players only, but most of them will be set on dinos, and then most of the tech turrets will be set on players. So it becomes really annoying for them to try and raid it. And then there'll be obviously some tech turrets as well for the dinos, because it also, I believe, knocks them around too. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played ARK. So we have the basic outline here for everything we're going to want. And one thing I like to do, the reason I wanted more ceilings, I couldn't remember how many it would be by doing the quick math in my head, but when I'm building these for loading purposes, oh, it doesn't have enough support. That's so annoying. I can't even do it there? That's weird. That's weird. So it's like on the edge of its support right there. Alright. So that's not gonna work, but I can do it down here. Oh, it's because this isn't up higher. Okay. Will this work for both of them? If I just... I think I could place both of them on there if I do that. I still have room for my head. Now this could be removed, but it can also just stay there because it's not going to affect anything. Maybe in niche cases where someone's attacking you from above, it might block the bottom guns from hitting them as well. But that can also be adjusted if it's found to be a problem. Right now, I'm just trying to see if this is even a viable option for me to do with broadcasting, creating build guides, and doing something that I don't want to say I don't enjoy doing it, but it's a challenge, and I enjoy a challenge. So I'm trying it out. And the reason why it's a challenge is because it's basically doing the same thing over and over in a variety of manners until you find what works best, and taking notes and keeping track and things like that. It's more work. It's not just as fluid and fun. It's safe playing. Alright. And now the goal is to place turrets all along the outsides. I like to start at my corners and build off of my corners and try and keep it... Oof, my nose stitching. I like to try and keep it, almost sneezed there, about the same amount of turrets in the equal area. So it looks good, but not only that, they function well, because if they become too close to each other, they can shoot the other turret, if that makes sense, and they'll be completely missing the target. So I'm gonna go with the heavies on the bottom. And that's because I screwed up. You have to bear with me. I'm kind of getting back in the hang of this. Let's see how many that was. 5. Okay, so it'll give me 5. I want 100. And then we need tech. I also want to make about 100 of these. Used up all my elements that I had on me. Just kind of waiting for this to end. You guys should wait. I'm also kind of testing the limits of the PlayStation because I didn't know what I could do before and what, you know, I can do now that it's different. But it's still pretty much not a viable option when you're doing that. So I like to get them right on this corner so they reach the further out, furthest point outward. And then I usually put, what was it, 4 on each one? This is where it starts taking a little bit of time. You know, let's just keep it at... I mean, those will work, but they're a little closer than I'd like. I think we're going to keep it to 3 on each one. Or would that be 2? Yeah, that would be 2. Focusing so hard to get the guns in the right place. Not really, but it sounds good, right? Well, if you kind of place it on the D, that's good placement for spacing them out. At least it looks like a D to me. I don't know what it really is, but... Whoa! Almost walked right off the side. And then you should be able to load all of these, except maybe the corner ones, up from this. Okay. And if that's the case, there is something that can be done. It'll require a little bit more building and time. But essentially all you would be doing is taking a pillar, and right in the corner here you'll be dropping a pillar, and it'll obstruct the view a little bit and make it to where people can try and do some cheesy shit, but they shouldn't be able to get too far with it because of the sheer amount of gunpowder, or firepower, gunpowder I guess we could call it, that you have at your disposal here, because it ends up being, you know, a pretty large amount, and you can even expand on this more and add more if you feel it's necessary. It has a line for where I should put it there, doesn't it? Put turret here. Okay. Ah! Walk off side here. Alright. Okay. Let this one out as far as possible for obvious reasons. The corners are going to be your most vulnerable areas in ways if you don't put them out there. You don't want any vulnerable points. It's the one thing that you cannot have when you're building, especially for player versus player. PvE is a lot more forgiving when you have vulnerable points in your base. Dinosaurs, as far as I'm concerned, are easy to kill as long as you know what you're doing. And I'll explain a little bit at the end once I've completed this about thoughts in the future of doing this, and also how to set up these turrets. Because you're going to want to use pin codes. You're going to have about three different pin codes. You're going to want one for all, one for players only, and one for dinos only, tames only. So there's your first row of guns set up. Let me see if I can get this off here. In the past, because of corners being a weak point, I have liked to build up the defenses just a little bit more, and not necessarily put more guns, but I was mentioning about if you can't reach the turrets to load them, there's something you could do, and I'm actually going to show you right now what I'm talking about. Oh, I skimmed right past it. And walls, we got plenty of walls. Getting hungry, it's about time for me to finish my breakfast I started. That was almost a perfect amount of turrets I grabbed. There's like just a few rows left. So it's about 200 guns with the build I'm suggesting. And you can still fit around here like this, and then just run it into the ground. And you can go I like to go one way on each side, so it would be, I need more foundations. I should have done this at the beginning on our foundations. Okay, so basically I could just build the wall off of that, I guess. Basically, it would be right there. It would be, oh, so what that does is that blocks your way around up here. Actually, it doesn't block your way around up here at all. It's perfect. Okay. Screwed myself up for a minute. And I want to go 2 out. 2 in, like so. And what this does is, if they try to take out your supports, you have a backup support system, and things don't just fall down. Get down here and put walls in here if you know what you're doing, but that's not really important. The important is that it's blocked off. The support system is blocked off. Oop. Come down a little bit here. Walls. There we go. And also what this does, I might do all the corners, you know, off camera, so you can, you know, see the finished product, what it looks like. But what this also does is it gives you places that you have cover. So, you could do things like hop down here and shoot at them when you're crouched down, or you could just stand behind the wall and get yourself, you know, guarded and shielded to where they can't really hit you as easily, and it gives you a little bit of a way to get around. You know, a little bit of cover goes a long way, but it's also the extra support there that also plays a huge reason why I started doing that, because I had plenty of time to have this tested against players who be running along and not expected to be sitting there. Maybe it renders in late, and then all of a sudden they're dead. And now they're mad because they're dead, so they try and grief on it, but it doesn't work, which is actually fucking hilarious. So I'm going to get these ready for me to go around, and I'm going to get the pan on so I can finish cooking my breakfast, and I'll be right back. Here for a short while I wait for the pan to heat up, and let's test and see if this works. Okay, so if I'm correct, I can take this off should still be one right under here. That's not what I was trying to do. It'll work though. Yeah, so there should still be right up to the top of the ceiling there, the way I did it. Support. So the first reason I originally did this before I got off on my tangent is so I could show that if you can't load the outside ones, just simply do this, and now you can. So you could just do something like this, and then go down here, and you can load them up this way. Let's turn them all on so they look good. Copy. Set target options. No. Back. Copy settings. To alter. Alright. We are powered up. And don't they look nice? Look ready to attack. Nice. Love it. So there's your defense system halfway up. And then now you just go around and place all of your tech turrets, which may be a little bit more of a pain. I can get it up here. I think with these I tend to do one less, so it's just 3 per each one. Because of how large they are, they take up a lot more room. I guess you don't need quite as many tech turrets. Oops. I fall down. I'm down here already. I might as well just stay. Oh, maybe when I'm crouched down, that's the way to do it. Looks to be a little bit easier to place. You're touchy, aren't you? Too many tech turrets in area. Ah. I don't have 100 of them. I've got heavies. Dang it, it's cutting me short. But you get the idea. So if you can, I don't want to get into changing the settings right now, but if you can imagine what I have going on here, except all the way around. I need to get into the settings and change them. So this may be a problem on your server. Settings have to be allowing a certain amount of turrets, and a simple way to combat that would be to take one of the heavies out on each square, and that would give it to where you have enough to do them on the top. Maybe matching numbers. I'll have to do the math and crunch it a little bit more. But so this is kind of what it's gonna. Oop. it's setting pin codes. You don't want to do that just yet. That takes the most time, and it's... There we go. Oh, those are all on. Alright. Yeah, just a few less turrets, but the server I played on had the settings turned way up for how many turrets are allowed. Because of the high level of dinosaurs there are, you have to have that many turrets to combat them. I can't remember the levels, but you could get them over 1,000. So that's why I designed this build for that server in particular. As I had said in the beginning, this build will need to be modified based on the type of server you're playing. Obviously, if it's PvE, you don't need nearly as many turrets, and the settings can be easier set to where you just turn it on, you know, all dinos, and it just kills everything around, because they will very quickly kill everything around. And then you would have your ground here. That on, and go ahead and put the hatch frame on the way up and down in. So probably like right here, you would have hatch frame. You know what? I'm gonna move it just a little bit, because you want it to be under the in the barrier, and I believe this will be in the barriers. If not, we can adjust the barrier slightly. And then
what is up, Cap?
What's going on, Jordan? Just demonstrating a build here for ARK perfect. And then you'll put your door in there, sort off. Open it first. Ladder, and you can get up. And I am building this, as you've read in the title, this is a teleporter pad that you can use. It's guarded by a tech force field and a lot of guns. I forgot to change my settings, so I can't put the guns all the way around the outside on the second row, but it would be completely surrounded by guns from every angle, and it's incredibly hard to demolish or penetrate the defenses here. So you have a way to teleport in to an otherwise unsafe spot safely, and you're guarded from other players and dinos. And then this is kind of the defenses that I was explaining would be built around the corners, and also it would add more support to where you can put this in the corner. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to get out far enough to be able to get into your guns. This one's going to be a difficult, there we go. You wouldn't be able to get into them to put the ammo in them. So this way you are able to do that. And I should be having my barrier go off pretty soon here. I think with the corners in, it gives it an extra element too. I like the way it looks. Just by looking at this, I can imagine it with 4 corners like that, and it would be pretty nice. It would be something that I wouldn't want to try and mess with, because I would end up dying or killing a lot of dinos in the process, unless I came very, very well prepared with multiple players, because it's just the sheer number of guns is too much to handle. You could soak it, but it would take time. Get a bunch of turtles or stegos and soak it out, but with the way it's set, it would kill your player over and over. I mean, there's ways you could cheese it a little bit, but essentially you'd end up dying and losing a fair amount of dinos, I feel like. I'm getting expensive eggs. Didn't even realize she had gotten the expensive eggs. Egg beaters, French for expensive. I got excited to start this broadcast and hadn't eaten breakfast yet and only cooked it halfway, so my stomach started telling me that I definitely need to finish breakfast. Come on. I want to see if when the portal kicks on, if I need to adjust the size at all. Perfect timing. It's like I got a timer in my head, I just know. Alright, so our hatch frame to get up and down is completely within the circle. So everything that I figured actually worked out pretty well for the first try. In the future I'm going to try and do more build videos like this, but maybe edit and chop them down a little bit. In case you didn't know, the radius is set on 3.6 for this particular setup. You can adjust the size on this too to conserve more element, but I'll leave that up to you. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and support the channel, please. I realize I haven't said that for the entire episode, but that's it. I just broke my egg and flipped it like poo-poo. That was no smooth. Hi. And I think I'm going to kind of conclude this one here. I'm going to get a screenshot of what it looks like for the thumbnail. We're going to go up a little bit higher, out a little bit more, so I can include it without my shield and hands in it. All about the angles here. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if it was useful to you, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn your notifications on so you can be alerted every time I make a new video. I do play other games besides this. I might even start another broadcast on one of them here in a little bit. I don't know. I have some plans with my family today, and I need to get over there and help cook some food for Labor Day. I hope you're all having a good holiday, and if not, it'll only get better, right? I mean, it could definitely always get worse, but
yes,
it should only get better.
D2R.
D2R, huh? I don't know about D2R. I do play it, but now that I've killed my hardcore character, which I hadn't mentioned yet, I don't really have D2R to play. I'm not going to go back to softcore. I mean, I could, but it kind of blows my mind I have an Enigma on hardcore, but not softcore. And I have a Hammerden, so Hammerden without Enigma, pretty ugly. I will see you all in the next episode.
ILL rush you up.
I bet. I'll talk to you in a little bit, buddy. Hop on a party, and I'll come chat with you. I'm gonna get off this broadcast though. I've pretty much completed what I set out to do. It was a little restricted by my settings. I'll um, I'll change those next time. And it's pretty, huh? Just a lot of
Sounds
guns.
good.
Good. Sounds good. I will edit my stuff up, and we'll try this build again soon. And I'll try and improve on the quality of it, maybe. Let me know if you like these videos, if it was useful to you. Drop a comment. Tell me what you'd like to see on the channel built, that you are kind of having an idea for being built, because my ideas are minimal right now, and I would just have to mess around until I come up with ideas for good builds and how they'd be useful. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit the like. I'll see you in the next episode, and have a good day.